Stop struggling and learn this. Hey yo, it's JR. Welcome to the channel. Let's just get right into it. I think this is probably the most important thing anybody should learn if they want to elevate their games, you know, elevate their game in fighting games. And I think across multiple games, this would apply in some manner. This version right here manifests as in fighting games as frame data. In other games, it would probably be like min-maxing. You're trying to make the strongest character you possibly can, so you're trying to really play with the stats to figure out how you can do that. And I think frame data in fighting games is probably your best tool for min-maxing. And a lot of people are struggling and they're losing and they don't understand why. And it's a knowledge check basically. It's just they know more than you do. On the lower levels, yeah, it's not that much. However, as you climb and get more and more situated with the game, this is a very important tool to have and a great system to try to really get your mind around and understand fully. So let's get started and just a quick basic breakdown of what the most important parts of frame data are. So you got to understand your startup frames and how those work. So if you see down here at the green, it says 5. However, above it, it says startup frames are 6 frames. Because the move is only truly active on the 6th frame when it enters the pink or uh, magenta, whichever one you want to call that. So it's a 6 frame move. So, and then it has 10 frames of recovery. That's what the blue represents. Now, an average person, or let's say maybe not an average person, I think the fastest a person can react in frames sense is 16 frames. So seeing this put out in neutral is probably unreactable. However, this, because it has 21 recovery frames, might be a little bit more reactable. And this right here, and understanding the frames and the buttons your opponents like to put out in neutral and their frame data, helps you whiff punish. For example, if DJ was supposed to just put out that medium kick, this is 16 frames. In normal situations, I really shouldn't be able to react to this. However, because I know my opponent is using this over and over and over again, I can wait for it, and I'll probably be able to punish it. Straight right there, first try. See, not that time. See, there you go again. Because this move hits its active frames in 12 frames, and DJ's recovery is 16. So I'm able to what they call whiff punish his move. This also pertains to one of the probably the most interesting part of frame data, which I'm obsessed with. Let's just put this character in a block state. The yellow on the bottom, that represents your hit stun slash block stun. Right now the character is blocking, so we can consider that block stun. And that interacts with the startups of moves, because this is a 16 frame startup, and this is a 11 frame hit stun or block stun. So if I hit with this and go into this, it's not a true combo. There is a big gap. There's 5 frames gap in between my hit stuns. So it's not a true block string, and then that opens up frame trapping and spatial trapping and a lot of stuff that you can a lot of pressure you can build upon by knowing these things, by knowing this frame data and applying it to your game plan and building the actual plan for the higher levels of how you're going to interact with your opponents. So, but this one is somewhat large, so technically they can jab me out of it. It's not necessarily that people are going to know all this information when you make your game plan, but technically they can jab me out of it. So if I found a button, you see right there, standing medium. Standing medium is cancelable. So standing medium into light has no gaps. So it's 1 is 42 complete block stun. No gaps in between this. So I can have them pressing buttons with this. If I do standing medium kick into medium special, there is a 3 frame. Right? Most people's fastest buttons are 4 frames. There's not much 3 frames, right? If there is any. So I just created a gap for somebody that's mashing to get hit by this move. And I'll get a counter hit, and the counter hit properties will be different. I'll be able to structure my combos in case that counter hit happens. As you get up higher in the levels, higher ranks and all that stuff, you it's going to be less about your game plan and more about controlling your opponent. So this is a really good piece of information to have so I can control what my opponent likes to do. I can use this and then put that gap inside there, and if they don't press buttons, I know that maybe I can do this and then like walk up throw or something right there because I know they're defending too much. But if I know that if I do this and they get hit, then I know they're mashing. They're or maybe they do parry and they parry the other hit. So I know they're mashing on something. And speaking about parry, there's different status that the frame data goes over. So if you hold like that, that purple represents immunity of somewhat. It's also there for moves that have armor, all that stuff. You can be thrown out of this. You can be thrown out of parry. So yeah, there's different things that you just some of the like this one's ridiculous. This is a 50 frame startup. So sometimes you can only use these on knockdowns. So 50 frames startup. You know that you have to either be long distance or have to set this up on a knockdown. You can't. There's no. Everything can punish you at 50 frames. I hope that gave you some insight. Right? I think this is probably the most important thing you should learn. I know it's a headache sometimes. I know people don't want to stay in the training mode, but I think learning this is of great value. Right? If I'm gonna go over some more stuff about this pertaining to this as I show off my character reviews and how building a game plan for each character. If you want to stick around for that, please like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I'm going to be making more videos, a lot more in depth. Also, leave a comment down below. Let me know if I'm talking too fast, if I'm not clear enough. Give me some feedback so I can do better for the next video. Alright, thanks. Peace.